Hey, what's up, guys? I'm having some technical difficulties with some of my recording equipment, so I'm just going selfie mode here on my cell phone. Um, right now, I'm going to talk to you guys about Dune. Dune, the 3D Blu-ray disc. Now, I originally bought this 4K 3D combo pack from India, as I usually like to do, but it seems that there was a manufacturing error. One of the factories, I guess, put out a bunch of 3D discs that were in fact just Blu-rays. But luckily, I had a domestic copy on back order, so I just switched out the discs. But anyway, I'm gonna talk to you real quick about how I liked the 3D in this movie. Uh, I'll paraphrase my last review that I did on Dune 3D at the movie theater. So when I saw it in the movie theater, I noticed that the picture was just a little too dark for my liking, and it had some pretty good depth in the beginning, but then it just kind of I don't know, it kind of gets drowned out all throughout the movie. And then there were scenes that looked like maybe objects were supposed to be popping out, but in fact they didn't. They just never quite made it there. And I noticed that during those possible pop out scenes, that there was some crosstalk too, the little bit of the ghosting effect. So now, after watching this in 3D on Blu ray, I can safely say this is 10 times better than the experience that I had in the cinema. So, in fact, I think this is actually better than the 4K version. I watched it in 4K first, and the 4K version has an awesome Dolby Atmos track, and it does have a good picture, don't get me wrong, but it just feels more crispier on the 3D disc. It's hard to explain because I know that the 3D disc is 1080p resolution, and obviously the 4K disc is four times that. Um, but it seems like it was a little grainy on some scenes when I was watching it in 4K, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with grain at all. In fact, I like a lot of grainy movies. Batman versus Superman, 300, or Saving Private Ryan, whatever. Grain is good, but I don't know. The 3D version on this had a very, I don't know, digitally shot all throughout look, and it just looked super crispy, and I enjoyed it. The picture was a lot brighter than it was when I saw it in the movie theater. Colors stood out and seemed a lot more accurate. The depth that I said lasted in the beginning of the first time I saw it in the movie theater, that 3D dimensional depth lasted throughout the entire Blu-ray disc. There were maybe a couple scenes where it felt a little flat, but I would say about 95% of the movie has sensational depth. And I'm not talking about like just turning on an auto conversion feature. No, I'm talking about like actual layers separation that they actually seemed like they put thought and planning into. So many scenes that just stretch, and then there are objects that are just pushing off the edge of your TV. Um, Anytime there's one of those dragonfly looking flying helicopters, whatever they fly in that movie, you can always count on the tail end of that chopper to be protruding off the screen. There's a couple other pretty good pop out scenes too in the beginning when Poe is awaking from his dreams of a Icarus, and that little sphere drone thing that follows him around comes up to him while he's like waking from his sleep. That is literally like protruding off the screen. So all those scenes where I saw crosstalk before and they didn't quite make it off the screen, they're actually coming off the screen in the physical copy of this movie. And like I said, the depth is just sensational. If I had to rate the depth, I'd give it 5 out of 5 stars. The pop out effects, I'd probably give 2 out of 5 stars. This movie isn't really centered on that gimmicky pop out 3D effect, and that's cool. I like pop outs, but for a movie like this, where you really have to focus on the story, I think that's okay. I think adding just beautiful depth to the movie just is a treat in itself. Um, the 5.1 DTS HD Master Audio track, it's pretty good actually. I mean, it's obviously you lose the overhead effects, but it's still very loud, very punchy, just like the Dolby Atmos version. The subwoofer still got a good workout in. The main difference that I saw between the two, the Dolby Atmos and the DTS track, was that the dialogue on the DTS track actually seemed a little bit more clear. There were times during the 4K version where I put on the subtitles because some of the speech seemed a little bit muffled. Anyway, but other than that, they're both pretty good. I know some people out there have some sort of program on their computers they use where they remix it and put the Dolby Atmos on a. They make like a burnt copy of the 3D disc and put the Dolby Atmos track on it. I don't know anything about that, but I know it's possible. But I'm fine listening to the way it is. But anyway, that's all I have to say about it. If you were wondering if you should spend your money on it, definitely. Definitely spend your money on it. It's sold in the United States. Support the 3D cause. I mean, it's a dying format, slowly dying format, but still, I would get it. I mean, it's sensational. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it, and thanks for watching. God bless, and be safe.